Howdy friends. I wanted to do a flip through of this journal that I finished. This is another one in the series that I've been doing since I got back from helping my mom. So I tried to make several, and I've tried to make several with different types of materials than I normally use. I don't normally use fabric or a lot of lace, and so this is a fabric journal, fabric covered journal. I used the Tim Holtz Abandoned fabric, and then on the inside I used a lot of the papers. So this was just I guess it's a sewn binding, but I'd use seam binding, and I just tied it, and I'll show you that when we get to the center. But this was a top to a pair of overalls, and this was where you hooked the strap over, and so I thought it would make a cute closure. And then I added this eyelet material. Then the other thing I added was this, I guess it was a pen. I took the backing off, and then I liked it because it mimicked the silver of the closure. And then I left the strings kind of long, so if you needed to retie it or do something different, you'd have some extra material. But I just slip it off the back or the front, and that's how you open it up. And let's see. It has one signature. The front page is a denim pocket that I made. This is some lace from my wedding dress, so that would be vintage. These were just some tags that I added. I believe this is from the Graphics Fairy Forget-Me-Not bundle. Just a blank tag. I like to add rusted elements. I added a rusted washer, and then I added a tiny washer to hold the strands together. Then this is just a book page, and then a guest check. And so I just included those. A lot of times in my journals, my signatures, I use the corrugated paper, so that's what I did here. In these journals, like I say, I was trying to do some different things, and so I bound this one differently than I normally do. But this was just the corrugated paper. I added a digital printout. I backed it onto some ribbon twist paper. I like to use that. It adds texture but no bulk. And then I added just some little rhinestones. And then I crocheted this trim. I taught myself to crochet when I was with my mom. So I added that. And then one of my signature items in most of my journals is I will have a section where you just have some blank paper for you to journal on. And then I usually bind it or hold it together with, these are called metal rim, not metal rim, they're metal prong fasteners, excuse me. But the beauty of this is you could add or take away pages. So if you wanted to add more pages to your journal or take some out, you could do that. I sell these in my shop. I rust them and I sell them in my shop. My journals typically are a blank canvas for you to write or use your own memories or your ephemera, so a lot of the pages are blank. This was just some dyed tracing paper. I added some lace onto the bottom. I added some lace on this side and just made a little pocket. And then along with the abandoned fabric, I used the abandoned paper to make tags. So that's what this is. This is just a little botanical tag, and that's just a little place for you to journal. Then on this page, it is some manuscript paper, and I added it folds out, and I added this tuck spot. As I said, I taught myself to crochet, so this is a granny square triangle, and I thought it makes a perfect tuck spot. And then this was just a tag that I made. I used the 35 negative film. I sell that in my shop. I just added a little, I think it's Tim Holtz photo booth, added family, it's blank on the back. Then one of the other things, I held it in place. I sell these rusted alligator clips. They're for your hair, but I rust them, and I use it like a paper clip. And so I use it to add things to my journals, and then I think it adds a little element when you close the journal. Sometimes I put rhinestones or a flat back pearl, or just leave it blank. You know, it just adds a little rusted look to your thing. That's to your journals, and that's one of the things I really like is if I'm making a vintage journal, I don't like to add a bright silver element. I want it to look, you know, vintage. So that's what I did. And then on this page was just the ribbon twist paper. I added some blue jeans. That's the seam of the blue jeans. I added a little piece of denim. I stamped on it. I added a jewelry pin that I rust, and then I added the faux enamel tag that says Discover. And then on the back of the page, I just added some lace to kind of, you know, to make that look nice on the back. And then this is just a blank writing page. It pulls out, and this is an example. I don't know who showed me this, but what you do is you take double-sided tape, and you can use old book pages, or I use dictionary pages, and I put the double-sided tape down, and then you can use it like a washi tape. So on this one, I used it to reinforce the edge of the paper that you pull out. So just an idea for you. And then this was some of the abandoned paper. And then this is some ledger paper from the early 1900s. I added the abandoned paper line tag that I made. I added a little washer and brad that I rust. And then I just added these to my Etsy shop. They're the mini bulldog clips that I rust. I rust the, you know, the inch size, and normally I use those as the closure on my journals with a chain, but I really love the mini size, so I was able to find those, and I was able to rust them. So those are for sale in my shop, and that's a new item. And then this is just the back of that page. I made a tuck spot. And then this is a canceled check from the early 1900s. I just made it into a tag. And then I got this vintage photo from one of my thrifting adventures, and I really liked that, so I put that in. Then this was just a tuck spot that I made on this deli paper. I added some material, and then I added a bunch of buttons just for different, and then I included two little tags that says thyme and oregano. I just have those in there. And then this was just some music paper. Again, another tag from the abandoned line. Again, a rusted paper clip. I sell those. This is just the ledger paper, and I added a digital print to help with the pull-out. And then this is the center of the signature. I just tied a knot. I used the Snug Hug seam binding, and then I added 2 ribbon crimps. I sell these in my shop. They're rusted, and these are the small ones. And then this is again the I went to an estate sale and got some vintage chandelier crystals, and then I made this tag. It's a little bird. I added the word fly, I added some lace, added some denim, and so then that's the back. I added some washi tape. And this again is an item from my shop. It's the larger size of the rusted ribbon crimps, and then I just added some material and then a place you could journal underneath if you wanted. This is the music paper, and this is another idea. I shop a lot of times in the sewing notions department at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and this is called double fold bias tape, and it's an easy way to add just a little pop of color. It strengthens the page. Since this is a page you turn, I like to have it strengthened because the music paper is old, it's vintage, and the double fold bias tape, it's easy to add. You just put it on there and I glue it down, and then it covers a multitude of sins. If you haven't cut your page just exactly straight, this helps hide that fact. And then I just added a little tuck spot and 2 little tags. Okay, and this is just some deli paper. This is the back of that early 1900s ledger paper. I added a little pocket with some lace. I added a Create faux enamel tag. This is a little booklet that I made, and I added just a couple of washers on the bottom, but it's just a plain little booklet, another place for you to add writing or your ephemera. It just goes in there. And then this is some more of that abandoned paper. This is just some writing paper. I added some lace, and then again a flower, crochet flower that I made with a rusted washer and brad. Then this is just some ribbon twist paper, the manuscript paper, it folds out. And then this is the tea-stained tracing paper, and I just added 3 little tags. And this is the back of the signature, and I added a belly band that I crocheted, and then this is just 2 tags. This was just a printout, and then this was a tag from the abandoned paper line. I added a tiny granny square triangle and made a little tuck spot. I would appreciate it if you would let me know what you think about these crocheted items. I was thinking about maybe having them in my Etsy shop, but I know a lot of the people only like the things that are vintage, so I didn't know if that was feasible to maybe for me to make those and put them in my shop. But I would value your opinion on what you think about them. And then the back is just a vintage doily that I added, and then I added some tags there. And then again, this is a pocket that I crocheted, and I added 2 just wildflower tags. And so that is the journal. I would appreciate your comments. I would love to know what you think about the crocheted items that I made, and the new rusted items that I sell. I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.